What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly sports history for October 11th, 2022. Happy Phillies playoff game day. They start the National League Divisional Series against the Braves today at 1. I'm going to get more into that in a couple minutes. But first, on this day in history, we're going back to back with the Flyers. We went back to 1974 yesterday for their opening game loss, and that was their second of back-to-back Stanley Cups. Today, we're going back to October 11th, 1973. The Flyers beat the Maple Leafs 2-0 at the Spectrum. They would go on to finish first in the Western Division, which, ironically enough, they're now in the East. But yeah, when they came in as an expansion team, they were in the Western Division. I guess it's kind of like how the Phoenix Cardinals and the Dallas Cowboys are in the NFC East. Just sometimes things don't make any sense. Luckily, they moved the Flyers to the East, and that's where they've been. I think it was like later in the 60s they made that move. But anyway, that team in 1973-74 were built on the last season's success where they made it to the semifinals, and we know they won their first of back-to-back Stanley Cups. Unfortunately, they've never been able to bring home another cup to Philly. I know for the diehard Flyer fans, that's why they hang on to those Broad Street Bullies teams in the 70s so much. So hopefully with what they have going on and some of the pieces in place, it won't be that long before they get back to prominence. We will be doing a Flyers preview later this week on Back to the Future. Stay tuned for that. And that should either be hopefully tonight or tomorrow. I'm waiting on a couple things to fall into place. I have had an idea for something, and I'm just, like I said, I'm waiting for a couple text messages to be returned. So if I sent you a text message within the past couple days, and you're listening, be sure to send me a message back. You know who you are. So this day in Philly sports history, October 11th, 1973, the Flyers beat the Maple Leafs 2-0 in the first game of the season where they would win their first Stanley Cup. So, the Braves versus the Phillies. Obviously, these two teams know each other well. Division rivals. I know everybody likes to hate on the Mets, but the Braves are one of those teams, too, that you just... I liken them, and it kind of makes sense because it is Cowboys week for the Eagles. So, Cowboys obviously are the most hated rival, but I have this hatred toward the Giants, and I don't know why. And I think with the Phillies, you have the Mets, who are obviously public enemy number one. But the Braves just, and there's something about it. I can't describe it. I just am not a Braves fan. It killed me last year when they won the World Series. Even when they were battling with the Phillies. It just, I don't know. There's just something about that team. People say all the time, like, he has a punchable face. To me, the Braves are like that guy that has a punchable face. I don't know why. Like, if the Braves were a person, I'd want to punch him in the face. So these teams know each other well. The Braves lead the season series this year 11-8, and most of the games were pretty even. I think the run differential between all 19 of those games was only 3 runs. So for the most part, these teams are very evenly matched. I think offensively and starting pitching wise, it's statistically, yes, they're very similar. I think from what I've been seeing, I think they're pretty even. I think where things get a little bit and you give the edge to the Braves are they have the bullpen. And coming into the season, obviously the Phillies bullpen was the big question mark. I think they far exceeded our expectations this year. Yes, they had a couple blips on the radar, but so does most bullpens. Hopefully, they've been able to work that out. Congratulations to Rob Thompson, who did get the interim tag moved off of his name. He is the new manager of the Phillies. Signed to a 2-year contract, so hopefully that'll kind of serve as a motivating piece for the team as well as him as they go here. So the Braves are rested coming into this series, and that's going to be huge because they had spent so much energy chasing down the Mets. Now, the Mets did make it very easy on them by just basically being the Mets and yeah, it's September. The Mets, they suck. What do you want me to say? But hopefully, what that meant is they expelled a lot of energy to catch the Mets, and the rest maybe cooled them off a little bit. I don't know. I'm anxious to see this afternoon how they come out. But I do think this first game today is key. And from a starting pitching matchup, yes, Ranger Suarez versus Max Fried, the Braves have the edge there. But if the Phillies can somehow either steal this game or get into the bullpen and make that bullpen work a little bit, you're following it up tomorrow and Friday with Chris Wheeler and Aaron Nola. Or Chris Wheeler. Jeez. Chris Wheeler is the old Phillies announcer. Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola. Hopefully Wheels is not pitching. And we have Zach Wheeler. Can't believe I said that. But anyway, I think if they can steal this game today or put some pressure on the bullpen, they're going to be set up. This is a 5-game series, so you have the way that Wheeler and Nola pitched in that Cardinal series. I don't know if anybody right now, with the exception of maybe some of the guys from Cleveland, are pitching that well right now. So hopefully we'll see what happens. Again, I think the offense and starting pitching they're pretty even. The Braves do have the edge in the bullpen, but hopefully they can get to them today and make them work and throw some pitches. I think from an intangible standpoint, the fact that Thompson got his the interim tag and is now the Phillies manager, I think that's going to be huge for not only the Phillies but as well as him. I think the pressure of that is off. I don't care who you are, a professional athlete or not knowing what's going on, especially with the job that you've done. I think that's hopefully going to take some pressure off of them, and hopefully the Phillies as a team respond to that because they all loved him. That's part of what led into him getting the interim tag removed. Also, the Braves won the World Series last year, and no team has won back-to-back since the Yankees in 98, 99, and 2000. So the odds are they're not going to win the World Series again, which means they're going to lose in the playoffs at some point. Why not this round? Why not to a familiar division rival? I think it can happen. I do think the Phillies are live to win this series. I think I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of money on that. They're at plus 155 as of last night. I don't think that's a bad bet at all. I do think this game or this series goes 5 games. And I just don't know where to go with this pick. I want to see how today plays out. I think the Braves probably will end up winning the series if it goes 5 games. Hopefully, Ranger Suarez comes out and pitches lights out today and he gets on par with Wheeler and Nola. If that happens, series over. The Phillies win. I think it, like I said, I kept going back and forth on this. I do think it goes 5 games. I hope I'm wrong on this. I've been wrong on my Eagles bets all season. So hopefully I'm wrong on this, but I do think the Braves win in 5. But I think today is going to be key. I want to see how today plays out. And hopefully, like I said, they can get to that bullpen and maybe even steal a win today. So go Phils. Back to the Future is going to be dropping a new Dallas Eagles rivalry podcast later this week. So be on the lookout for that. We're going to change the format slightly just to celebrate that Eagles-Dallas rivalry. Be sure to check me out on Twitter and TikTok, Jimbo_Mont, Instagram, JimboKU. I did look into changing that. It's just, I can't do it. I'm still working on it, but the Jimbo_Mont was already taken by somebody. So thanks a lot. But go have yourselves a Tuesday. Go Phils. Be on the lookout for the next Back to the Future. Be sure to like and subscribe this podcast or follow the YouTube channel. And until next time, I'll see you when I see you.